Hi, welcome to Baked Basement Banter. I'm Debbie Friedmann. I'm the director and choreographer of our show.
And I'm Jonathan Vanderzon. I'm playing the lecturer.
So, Jonathan, I want to know, what made you become a performer? Like, why did you choose this particular life?
To become a performer, I think it started so long ago. I think because
Was there like a moment in your childhood that you were like, this is what I want to do?
it was very much a slow progression. Because I didn't know it was a thing you could do professionally. It was just something I wanted to do. Like, I watched Barney. Yeah, Barney the dinosaur.
And you were like, I want to perform like that. Like, I want to dance around and kids, have people watch. Yeah.
It was more like the kids would put on skits. So I saw these kids doing theater, and I was like, oh, that looks like a lot of fun. And then I went, well, cool. Barney's cool. If they're acting, I guess I want to act.
Yeah, so that makes sense.
Barney the dinosaur, everyone. that's why.
That's adorable. I also was a big Barney fan. I'm glad. I thought that was gonna age me, but we're good. If you were to take on a role, like not as an actor, but still in theater, because I know that you actually work in film a lot too, and that you've done other roles. So like in the theater world, if you were going to be doing something other than being a performer, what do you think you would want to do?
Something it's within the milieu of cinema or in theater.
Yeah, like if you were not an actor, if that wasn't what you were kind of focused on, what other roles would you be interested in doing? And if you could tell me a little bit about it. Oh, writing.
Writing.
Yeah.
I already love writing. Writing is probably almost an equal passion.
Okay, for performing for you?
Yeah.
Did you also start doing that super young, or was that something?
I started writing a novel when I was in the 5th grade.
Oh my god, that's so funny.
It wasn't very good. And I rewrote it like...
I would love to read this 5th grade novel though. Like, what was it called? What was it about? Tell me everything.
It was, oh my god, really? It was called The Search for the Stones of Sardinia.
Amazing.
Yeah, I loved the alliteration, apparently. And it started off in our world, and eventually I made this whole fantasy world. I created a whole mythology. I tried making a language, all for this, I don't know, fantasy.
And do you find that like that writing and like, I mean, I'm sure now your writing has developed into very, very different and more exciting things and like clear ideas and like all that stuff. Yeah. But do you find that writing influences the way you perform? Like, do you ever find that you approach with some of the same tools?
One of the first things I do when I get a script is I look at how it's written. And it's just it's inherent. I'll be going through the text and then be like, oh, this sounds weird. It's because for whatever reason the rhythm of the sentence sounds bizarre, or it's the words often when you're working with people whose language isn't English, their first language I should say, then there'll be like typos and stuff, and some people won't catch that. So then they'll be acting something that seems inauthentic. So sometimes you find stuff in the writing that you can just tweak, and then you can make it sound a lot more natural.
Interesting.
Yeah, so I think that writing, and also in terms of telling a story.
Right, yeah, understanding the arc, yeah, for sure. That totally makes sense. That's really interesting. Do you ever write stoned? And if you do, how is your voice different than when you write sober?
Have I ever written stoned? I don't know if I have, actually. Oh, no, that's not true. When sometimes with my creative partners, we'll be sitting there and like the DOP, the director, my other friend who's a writer, like we just sit together and sometimes we'll smoke and we'll write, but that's not it's happened, I should say. Yeah, you're right. Sorry, to answer your question, yes, I have written, but not often.
Yeah, I mean, I found that when I write, like I also write, and like I find that like getting stoned for like the research and brainstorming is like so much fun, because you're just kind of like chill and like relax, and you just like. You can get stoned and like fall down a rabbit hole, a random like Google place that you can like go to and learn all this interesting stuff that then like can inspire you. But I do find that sometimes I have to like, I could never like write something that had to like be handed in to anyone or read by anyone.
Oh my god, I just remembered!
Okay,
I wrote the end of an essay. I wrote an essay. Yes, when I went to an acting conservatory in New York. Mm-hmm. And we had this essay to write, and I remember I just had to write the conclusion. And so I was like, all right, well, I'm high, and then because it always takes me forever to write conclusions. Conclusions are the worst. I hate them. It's like, okay, you're not really presenting new information.
You're just summarizing everything you just wrote into like a paragraph, and it's like, why did I write it all?
Yeah, and it gives you no dopamine. But so then I smoked, but then my conclusion was somehow very different, and my teacher gave me top marks. He was very cool about it. He's like, your conclusion went in a very different direction, but somehow still justified the essay. So
amazing.
Cool.
Amazing.
And I was like, hi, we did a good thing.
I love that for you. Yeah, no, I find that like I'm rambly normally. Like I was saying that before we even started filming. I was like, I'm gonna ramble. Like it's gonna happen.
Me too.
Because I'm rambly at the best of times, and when I'm stoned, I just feel like I'm more rambly. So my writing just becomes like goes from having lots of run-on sentences to just one long run-on sentence as an entire essay. Like that's kind of what happens to me. So I'm incapable of doing that.
And when I talk to people, I end up taking all their rhythms. Then I end up talking and speaking for as long as you do, and I'm going, oh. So yeah.
I love that. Performing in this show, telling us a little bit more about your performance in Reefer Madness. How does the kind of stigma around weed affect your like approach to this show? Like, how does that kind of feed into your performance?
Ooh, it's interesting. I don't want to let the audience in on the secrets of the show. Like,
dance around.
Yeah, dance around as much as I can. Yeah, I think that I try to have some of my justifications as to why weed is legal, be why the lecturer might have maybe believed that weed is, I don't know, maybe I do, maybe I don't, but I kind of want the lecturer for you to not be sure if he's pro or anti-weed. That's essentially it. I didn't want to spoil it, but it's kind of fun.
Yeah. It's true. Like, there's something kind of interesting about that role, because the lecturer is, like, in some ways presents as someone who's very anti-weed, but also he presents as someone who's very shady, and, like, you're right, there's things that happen that, like, doesn't
shady and also artistic. He's putting on a show.
It's true. He is directing a show. Yeah.
He is theatrical.
Yeah. Can you tell us a little bit about the process of, like, directing a show within a show and then acting at the show?
Oh, yes. The directing at the show within the show is really great because I've got an amazing co-director.
I come in, I occasionally offer ideas.
Sometimes,
it's great.
Yeah.
We have a nice exchange going in the room.
It's been cool developing the character. He's kind of somewhat inspired by like Toast of London, which is this washed up actor, but he just takes his craft so seriously, and he's just so. And so I copied the cadence in which he speaks. I'm not speaking in an English accent. Yeah. But not far off.
Yeah, it's really fun to work with you on it too as a director. I think that's like a really fun thing that also like then influences the way I direct in a way. Like the more I learn about your character and the way that he would approach the show if he was actually directing, the more I'm like, the lecturer would totally do this choice. Like, he would have to have a justification for this weird moment, and it's fun because it's, like, challenging me as well. So it's really fun to work with you, and it's really fun to work on.
It's amazing, because you'll come at me with, like, all right, so here's option one. Or offer one. Here's offer one, offer two, and they're equally good. And I'll be like, I don't know, what do you want? Like,
it's a fun time in the room. It's really fun to just, like, mess around and play, and I'm excited to see what happens next.
Me too.
Make sure you tune in for the next episode, and
I feel like we're off to a start.
We're killing it. We're doing really well.